What can you learn from someone that says, "My teachings on strategy stand apart from all others in that they were born in blood"? What we're learning today is from Miyamoto Musashi's book, The Book of Five Rings, that goes into his training method. Musashi has a certain intensity, a focus on winning, a focus on killing. In fact, I got the proper t-shirt for this lesson. Search and destroy. This is from my buddies in Wyoming. But one thing about Musashi is that he was a realist. He knew that it was important to include death as part of what you need to focus on in life and in training. And he didn't mince words about the need to fight so you can survive and win. In a previous lesson, I contrasted Yaku Munenori with Miyamoto Musashi. Both were samurai in the 17th century of Japan during the peacetime Tokugawa shogunate period. Munenori was part of a family life-giving sword school. There was a family lineage there, a lot of support, you might say. Musashi was a loner. He grew up in a dysfunctional family. He had eczema, skin disease on his body, his face that left scars. So he felt kind of outcast from society. And he claims to have learned all of his swordsmanship skills himself. He was very independent, very self-reliant. And he started on this journey of fighting at age 13 when he killed his first opponent. So a lot of the samurai would roam around and wander and challenge each other to duels. And so this was what Miyamoto Musashi was doing. And he claims to have been involved in 60 duels and never lost one of them. But it would be wrong to discount Musashi's training method simply because he's focusing on winning, killing, and death. It's better to look at why he's including these so we can understand how to apply those aspects to our own training. Musashi was a master swordsman, but he also mastered the arts, and specifically poetry is what I want to look at here. Some of his poetry can give us insight into the kind of mind that we need to have for fighting and for life. Cold flow, still moon, light clear water. There's another translator of Musashi's book, D.E. Tarver, that says that the poem gives a description of the kind of mind that you need to have. Musashi speaks of the clarity of pure water, evoking the purity of an unblemished mind. If water contains any impurities, it becomes muddy and unclear. As the water becomes calm, the debris settles and the water becomes clear. When there is nothing left to cloud the water, it will always be clear no matter what happens, because it is just water with nothing else in it. An unblemished mind is clear, it's not damaged, it's free. And Musashi states, it is essential to keep your mind free from subjective bias. Your mind is damaged by your own subjective bias. If you can eliminate the bias or diminish it, then you can create this unblemished mind that Musashi is talking about. Be alert as a warrior in enemy territory. Alertness here is key. And Musashi emphasizes that you need to have the same kind of mind in regular life that you have in fighting. Musashi states, in the science of martial arts, the state of mind should remain the same as normal. Let there be no change at all. With the mind open and direct, neither tense nor lax, centering the mind so that there is no imbalance. Calmly relax your mind and savor this moment of ease thoroughly so that the relaxation does not stop its relaxation for even an instant. The performance of an expert seems relaxed but does not leave any gaps. The actions of trained people do not seem rushed. The principle of the way can be known from these illustrations. It is imperative to master the principles of the art of war and learn to be unmoved in mind even in the heat of battle. Wouldn't it be simpler to just have one mind in how you live all aspects of your life? You could act natural in all aspects of your life. But it takes training to be able to develop this calm, relaxed mind that Musashi is talking about. We've all been habituated in our childhoods and traumas that we've had in our lives that ingrain these traumas in our brains, in the neural networks that we have. So it takes training to act in this calm and relaxed way. What you do with your mind influences your body, and what you do with your body influences your mind. As for physical appearance, your face should not be tilted. Your gaze should be steady. Make a furrow between your eyebrows. Keep your eyes unmoving. Narrow your eyes slightly. The idea is to keep a serene expression on your face, nose straight, chin slightly forward. The eyes are to be focused in such a way as to maximize the range and breadth of vision. It is essential to see to both sides without moving the eyeballs. The back of the neck should be straight, with strength focused in the nape. Feeling the whole body from the shoulders down as one, lower the shoulders, keep the spine straight, and do not let the buttocks stick out. Concentrate power in the lower legs, from the knees down through the tips of the feet. Tense the abdomen so that the waist does not bend. This is the kind of body that improves how you focus your attention. You're using the body in a more quality way. These are the BEB, the breathing, eyes, body elements that we emphasize in all of these lessons. It creates the kind of body that you need that can help create the unblemished mind. But the mind also influences the body. And specifically, Musashi talks about the importance of developing a fighting spirit. Musashi says, sharpen your mind and strengthen your fighting spirit. We refer to this fighting spirit as our warrior spirit, where when you're engaged in stress, you're exerting effort and you want to be in the stress of that experience because you see that as where you're learning. So to change your fighting spirit, your warrior spirit, you need to strengthen how you perceive a challenge. Mistakes are not negative. They're not failures. You start honoring them as essential for your learning. They're the raw material that you need so that you actually can learn. If you focus on failures and mistakes as essential to your learning process, then you're honoring them and you strengthen your fighting spirit. Musashi says that his teachings are born in blood. Well, what does this mean and how is it beneficial? When you spill blood, then you're injuring someone, you're maybe killing someone. And he's outlining a life and death situation and how that can impact how you use your attention. Well, I see too often in life and in climbing and training that the consequences are ignored. There's an overemphasis on the goal or remaining positive. Yet the consequences are part of the equation. They're part of the situation. And they are equally important. So to have a more clear understanding of a situation, we can include the consequence, or how Musashi emphasizes it, a focus on death, or trainings being born in blood. So Musashi emphasizes killing. He emphasizes the importance of accepting that death is part of fighting and part of life. This improves how we perceive reality, and it influences how we fight. It influences how we focus our attention and the kind of mindset that we have. But there's another important point here, and that is that when we perceive reality through this life and death lens, then it changes how we live our lives. It changes how we focus our attention and how we live our lives. How does it do that? It makes us more alert. Okay, it makes us alert as a warrior in enemy territory. Including death and the consequences gives us a more complete perception of reality, and it's also important to be wary of your own subjective bias. Musashi warns, truth is not what you want it to be, it is what it is, and you must bend to its power or live a lie. You must doubt what you think you know. You must doubt what you think you know. If you can do that, then you improve your perception of the situation. You improve the kind of mind that you have that can be receptive to learning. Musashi gives us insights. Be open, be honest with yourself, accept truth, never stop searching for truth, always strive to do your best at anything you set your mind to. This is the way of the warrior. The only secret to enlightenment is to keep your heart and spirit true, work hard, and be honest with yourself. You can't operate or progress effectively on a lie or from illusions. It's important to understand that the mind will lie to you about what you're perceiving, what you're experiencing. This is because it's perceiving what you currently know. But when you're learning something new, you know little or nothing about it. You must doubt what you think you know. You must doubt the mind. And you do this by being skeptical, by being curious, and finally by proving it all in experience. Another important aspect of Musashi's training is balance. And specifically here, you need a both-and perspective of reality to have a more balanced understanding of it. Musashi warns, too much confidence or too much fear are equally dangerous. Balance begins with researching widely. Musashi was eclectic. He was a master swordsman, but he also was a master artist in poetry and calligraphy and other dimensions of that. So he said that it's important to have a broad understanding of the world around you. And he also said it's important to master a discipline. He said, when you truly understand one thing, you will understand the nature of all things, and there will be nothing you cannot see. Some important points on Musashi's focus on balance and reality are, warriors must be versed in many paths. Warriors must be able to take life and create beauty as well. If you attain enlightenment in martial arts, then you can apply it to all of life. When you're versed in many paths, then you have a broader understanding of reality. When you master at least one discipline, then you understand reality at its depth, at a more subtle level. And together, there will be nothing you cannot see. My own understanding of mental training evolved over time. In the beginning, a long time ago, I had a focus on either or. Like it was either you need to value the destination or the journey, or giving versus receiving. Now I understand that both are important, that both and perspective is important. The journey is important because it helps us focus on learning and finding joy in what we're doing. That makes up the majority of our lives, is the journey. The destination is important, though, because it gives us direction, it gives us inspiration, and this is where we test our learning. Giving and receiving are also important to find a balance there. We need to give effort, and then another time we need to receive rest. So what's critical with the journey and the destination and giving and receiving is just to know when you're going to focus on each one. Creating an unblemished mind is not easy to acquire. Creating an unblemished body, or a body that you're carrying with quality, is not easy to acquire. It takes a lot of practice, and that practice leads directly toward mastery. Musashi guides us on practice. You learn all the techniques and principles of strategy, then you forget them and let the knowledge flow through you. Follow your natural instincts without debate. Move with the rhythm of any situation and adapt spontaneously. All of nature operates on this principle. Only people complicate nature with thought. Water changes to adapt to its environment. Thus, water is the inspiration for winning strategy. This idea of water is the very heart of my system of martial arts and the foundation of my strategy for the sword. You complicate situations by overthinking. Align with nature, flow with it, be adaptive as water. Practice, mastery, aligning with nature, all of these lead toward developing this unblemished mind. It enhances or improves our perception. Musashi delineates there's a difference between seeing and perceiving. In seeing, you can only take in what is there to be seen. In perceiving, you can read your opponent's very heart and mind. By seeing, you can tell where the opponent is. By perceiving, you can tell where he is going. Seeing gives you insights into the physical situation. Perceiving gives you insights into the intentions of the other person. Timing is also important for flowing with nature or how life unfolds. Musashi outlines, in reality, speed or slowness is only that which is out of time with the situation. The proper speed at which to execute a technique should flow of its own accord. You should always strive to free your mind so the sword can follow its own path. And if you are concentrating on speed, this is impossible. You should always follow the timing of the situation and never rush it. Climbers are constantly rushing through stress or stalling out in it. And this tends to be a motivation to get it over with, to get the stress over with. With rushing, the mind and attention is ahead of the body. With stalling, you're behind the natural flow of how the situation is unfolding. Both rushing and stalling prevent you from flowing with how life and climbing is naturally unfolding. Cold flow, still moon, light clear water. Musashi's unblemished mind is still and it flows. In a previous lesson on free mind, lesson number 9, I talked about these aspects of the free mind, and here we can see how they align with Musashi's description. The still mind is the unmoved mind of awareness. The flowing mind is the flexible, agile mind of attention. And Musashi gives us one last admonition. Let your mind be free and remember that this is a lifelong study and a path that has no end. So he's emphasizing the journey. Winning is important, especially when you're in that life and death situation. But if you don't value the journey, then what are you doing all of this for? Mastery is a lifelong endeavor. So enjoy the moment. Enjoy today. The end doesn't justify the means. It's important to have a goal, but then the means are an end in themselves. Creating an unblemished mind begins with improving how you carry the body. The body is your present moment experience. It's what you use to create the unblemished mind. Musashi gives us exact details, specifically breathing, eyes, body details, on how to carry the body with quality that can lead toward developing this unblemished mind. And this practice leads directly toward mastery. So here's the drill. B, breathing. Breathe naturally. When you become aware of shallow breathing, intentionally deepen it. Then return to natural breathing. E, eyes. Your gaze should be steady, eyes unmoving. Don't wrinkle your forehead, but make a furrow between your eyebrows. Keep a serene expression on your face. Focus your eyes to see both sides without moving the eyeballs. B, body. Expand your body by stretching the spine and elevating the head. Feel grounded in the feet by concentrating power in the lower legs. Tense the abdomen a bit so the waist doesn't bend. Breathe naturally. Have this soft gaze. Expand your body. These will help you develop this unblemished body that can lead toward an unblemished mind.